Dear viewers and dear professor, this is the midterm project presentation of system engineering. Okay, so we shall start here. So first is a overview of this presentation. It follows the structure of my report, which is the introduction and then project background, needs analysis, concept exploration and definition, and finally the challenges. So first, the topic I chose is privacy preserving technology. We'll get a brief introduction of these very trending techniques used across the data-driven industries. So privacy preserving technology, in short, PPTs, are a broad range of techniques, including both software and hardware solutions, which we mainly discuss is the software aspect in this project. These solutions aim to protect the privacy and security of sensitive and privacy data, while allowing marketers to maintain the functionality of data-driven system, which is very important. We'll see in the following parts. Okay, so the first section is project background. Although like data-driven data privacy legislations across the globe are aimed to prevent privacy breaches, consumers' privacy is still frequently invaded by hackers, companies, and even governments. Therefore, it is very important for both consumers and businesses to ensure data safety when sharing and when data are being properly used. Tech companies, big titles as Microsoft, Oracle, IBMs, they have been developing privacy preserving technologies for the market for maybe more than decades. And it has become a growing trend for other tech companies, like smaller ones and startup ones. They'll want to develop their own solutions to address privacy issues. So I say it's a big market out there. Yeah. So due to a new branch of technologies that has emerged over the past decade, such as aggregation technologies, advanced cryptographic technologies, machine learning, AI, these privacy-centered solutions have brought together both the growing demand for user-level data and the growing cost for privacy. That's pretty cool. Okay, so second part is needs analysis, which is like the major part of this report. So we have to consider like many aspects of the needs. So the first section of the needs analysis is operations analysis. So I divided like three categories. The first is scenarios, since we need to know like in which industries, which scenarios may our PPTs applied. This is very important considering if we are to develop a product, we have to make profits. So PPTs actually have many potential applications and use cases in data-driven domains, like energy, finance, education, health, and even public service, because there's a growing needs of data across actually all fields of industries. Here are some examples. Like PPTs can enable the analysis of medical records without revealing the identity of patients, which will improve the diagnosis, treatment, and the development of new drugs. And we actually have an example, like a use case with hospitals or medical fields later parts. Okay, the second category is privacy risk. There are many privacy risks that could arise from usually collection, processing, sharing, and the storage of sensitive data. And there's benefits of applying this PPT. Applying these technologies to protect the privacy and security of data can have many benefits, which actually can be good for both data providers and data users. Okay, the next part is functional analysis, which I also divided into three categories. The first is architecture and components of the functional units. Let me see. Uh, so these are the elements that define like how our product work and interact with each other and with data. And although the architecture may vary depending on the different types of the PPTs, but generally we can classify them into four categories, which is data source, data processors, data users, and data protectors. That's right. And next is the functional requirements and constraints. So usually we would have privacy requirements, which will define the level to which level of privacy protection that the PPTs should provide. Uh, and there's utility requirements, which will define like how accurate will this technique performs. And also there's cost requirements. This will define the resources or overheads that the PPTs should consume, such as time, space, energy, or money when processing and collecting, protecting the data. And finally is a user case, which is a hospital example. So suppose there's a hospital wants to use machine learning to predict the risk of heart disease for its patients. But this requires a huge amount of data, but the hospital they cannot share the data with other hospitals or researchers because some privacy and ethical concerns. So there's one possible solution is to use the so-called federated learning. It's a technology used in PPTs. So this technology or this method can enable data distribution and decentralization, which allows multiple parties to collaboratively train a single machine learning module without exchanging their data. That's pretty cool. So by using these techniques, like the um, machine learning can get a very wide range of data legally, like without compromising um, the ethical issues. Okay, so next is a feasibility analysis. So there is a technical feasibility issue, which means the PPT should have good availability, compatibility, reliability, scalability, and efficiency. Um, for example, the PPTs need to be reliable and robust against any errors, failures, or even like networks attacks. And they also need to be scalable to be able to handle like large and diverse data sets, which will eventually become a problem. And there's also economic feasibility, which usually is the stakeholders of the product the PPTs need to consider. The development cost, the benefit, the return on investment, the market, the demand, and even the competition. As I was mentioned, there's actually lots of companies doing this right now. The last part of the needs analysis is a needs validation. So this stage involves validating in the operational objectives, functions, performance requirements, and feasibility criteria with the stakeholders and users of our product. And this could like usually involve establishing a measure of effectiveness to evaluate. For example, like our researchers will confirm and prioritize the needs and expectations of the data providers, user, and consumers, and ensure that they are aligned and consistent with the vision and values of our product. And also, the researchers will need to verify and refine the functions and requirements of the PPTs and ensure that they are feasible, actually. They can be achievable with the available resources. Like they should be like they can be implemented with like modern technologies, but not like that's something that's very fictional and that might not be feasible. And finally, they will have to validate and test the product with real or simulated data to ensure that they meet the desired level of privacy protection. Okay, the next part is concept exploration and definition. Mm, the concept exploration part, which according to the needs analysis before, a data preserving technology product can be generally configured to have the following, let's say, three subsystems. The first is the data protection subsystems. These are subsystems that apply the technologies or method to data, such as data anonymization, encryption, distribution, and other methods. So from my research, there's actually three main categories of these methods are widely used now. The first is data anonymization and aggregation. And second is data encryption and cryptography. Third one is data distribution and decentralization. So these are very popular techniques they're using right now. The second subsystem is data analysis subsystem. So these are subsystems that perform data analysis and processing on the protected data. They usually use machine learning and some statistic methods and even like mathematical optimizations to like derive the value from our data set. So this like produce actual values, data values. The last one is data communication subsystem. So these are subsystems that enable data communication or exchange between different parties, such as data providers, users, consumers, yeah. And they have to like consider the compatibility of like data types, databases, codes, protocols, and such things. This leads to the concept definition of our privacy preserving technology. So here's the 10 points I've listed, like 10, I think it's like the key concepts or the goals we have to achieve for our product. So the first one is our product has to be designed to work in at least one common industry or public service field, because that's you know that's a field where implement this too, and this like actually this decides like whether our product will be successful and make profits or not. Yeah, so it has to be carefully researched and chosen. Second is our product has to address the common data risks. That is, the third, the fourth, and fifth is just to apply these modern techniques. The sixth one I think is a good scalability because nowadays the data amount is enormous. That is very important. in data-driven industry or data-driven techniques. And we also have to make our product highly compatible with existing systems, databases, and data types, data structures. And to work effectively and efficiently with a competitive cost and also good maintainability. Yeah. So here comes to the last part um, of the project, like the midterm report and the PowerPoint slides. So we address some of the main challenges of our project, which could be added later. But as for now, these are what my research lead to. So the privacy preserving technologies faces many challenges. So I address some of the most critical ones. As the first is balance the trade-off between privacy and utility of data. Because the more privacy you preserve, commonly the less utility or less value you get from the data. And that's the trade-off you need to consider. And second is to ensure the correctness and validity of data analysis and processing. Third one is to address the ethical, legal, and social implications of data use and governance. That's like the social justice part. And finally is to overcome the technical, not only just the technical, but also like financial and organizational barriers to the adoption and deployment of PBT since our product is like a commercial product. So these are very, I guess it's hard problems that needs further research and analysis in the later parts of our project, which will be addressed and hopefully solved at the final report and presentations, that is. Here's some reference list. Okay, so it seems that this is all I have for the midterm. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the final, I guess. Bye.